subscribe, comment, and hit that bell icon.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back for another episode of Algebra. Today we're going to be talking about simplifying rational expressions, turning it into the covenant form. All right, so let's get started. So today we're talking about polynomials being moved around in order from descending order, and the A, or the first number letter, cannot be 0 or a negative number. So what we're going to do is we're going to move the top one around first. And so we're going to rewrite it. Negative 3a squared plus a plus 14. Okay. And then the bottom one, negative 2a squared minus 3a plus 2. Now, we cannot have the negative on the front, so we're going to pull out a negative 1 for both of those. So negative 1, so we're going to have 3a squared minus a minus 14 over negative 1 2a squared plus 3a plus 2. And so this is in the covenant form. Okay, so here we are to simplify, okay? And when it says simplify, it means take it all the way out. So the top one is already in the covenant form, but the bottom one is not. And so we're going to have to rewrite it where it's in the covenant form, okay? We're still not done because we can't have that negative there. And so we're going to go ahead and pull out a negative 1 on that bottom. So we have a squared plus 9. Okay, now we're not done because we have to, that should not be plus 9, it should be minus 9. We have to factor out the bottom one. So we have a minus 3 over negative 1, a minus 3, a plus 3. Okay. So how did I do that, you're wondering? Well, when this number here is a perfect square and there's nothing in the center and this is a negative, then I know I can break it down to the plus 3 and the negative 3. So we have 3 and 3. One's going to be plus, one's going to be negative in order to just have the symbol in the center. Once you get familiar with factoring, you'll be able to do that easier without any trouble. Okay, so now we're going to cross out our common items. And so the a minus 3 cancels out with the a minus 3 in the bottom. So we're going to have 1 over negative a plus 3. And that is our answer for this one. You don't have to put the 1 there, but you can, okay? It's your preference, okay? So this brings us to equivalent expressions. So on the previous one, where we have the negative 1 on the bottom, we could have wrote it with the negative in the center or the negative on the top in order to express the same way. So that's what equivalent expressions means. So here we're going to simplify the same thing we saw from earlier on our first slide. And so we're going to go ahead, and we already know that's going to be a negative 3a squared minus a, whoops, that looks like a 9, 9a, minus a minus 14 over negative 2a squared plus 3a minus 2. Now, we can factor these out. And so when we factor these out, we're going to go 3 times 14 is 42. The factors of 42. We have the 3 and the 14. And then we have 42 divided by 2, which is 2 and 21. And then another factor of 42 is 6 and 7. Now, all of these factors, which one of them will equal a -1? That'll be the 6 and the 7. So what we're going to do is we're going to do our 3a squared. And 6 goes easiest with 3, and it's going to be a positive 6 because it's a -1, plus 6a minus 7a minus 14. Okay, we're not going to worry about the negatives as of right now. In fact, since we have a negative and a negative, they become positive anyways. Okay, and then for the bottom one, we're going to have 2 and 2 is 4. Okay, so we have 2 and 2 and 1 and 4. And 4 minus 1 will give us our 3. It doesn't matter which one goes in what spot first. Okay, so we're going to do a2 squared plus 4a minus 1a minus 2. Okay, so now we're going to do a little division line here. And so the top one, 3a comes out of the first section, okay? So we're going to have a 3a, and then we're going to have a plus 2, because 3 divided by 3a2 gives us just an a, and then 6a divided by 3a gives us 2. And then the second portion, we're going to pull out a -7 because -7 goes into both of those parts. And so we're going to have -7a plus 2, because -7a divided by -7 gives us a, and -14 divided by -7 gives us positive 2a. Okay. Now, for the bottom portion, we're going to pull out a 2a from the first one. So we're going to do 2a, a plus 2, okay? And then we're going to pull out a -1, a plus 2. So 2a goes into both 2a squared and 4a. So that's why I pulled out a 2a. And over here on the other side, a -1 goes into both of those. All right. So now, what we're going to do, sorry guys, is we're going to combine our outside ones. So we're going to have 3a minus 7, and then these is the same thing as pulling out or factoring out a common factor. Okay. We're going to do the same thing on the bottom. And then our common factor. All right, so I'm going to have to erase this stuff over here so I can have a little bit more room to write my final answer. All right, so now the a plus 2 cancels out. And so we're just left with 3a minus 7 over 2a minus 1, and that is our answer. Okay, so this one here we are to write in covenant form. And so what we're going to do is the first one is already written in descending order. However, we cannot have this negative here. So we're going to pull out a -1, x squared minus 9, and that is our answer for the first one. Okay, for the second one, we're going to have to write in descending order. So we have negative 2x squared minus x plus 6. Now, once again, we can't have this negative, so we're going to pull out a negative 1, 2x squared plus x minus 6. And that is our answer for that one. Okay. Here we are to simplify, so that means we're supposed to take it all the way out. And taking it all the way out. So we're going to have to, first of all, we got to rewrite the bottom one. So I'll just go ahead and rewrite the bottom one. Negative x plus 3. And we cannot have a negative, so we're going to pull out our negative. Whoopsies. Okay. So we're going to have negative x plus 3, and we can't have that. So we're going to have negative 1 x minus 3. Okay. I did that so I can save some room. And now I'm going to factor out the top. Now 6, we have 3 and 2, and 5 and, or 6 and 1, both of which can equal negative 5. So it doesn't matter which one we're going to use, but since we have a 3, ooh, I did not mean to do that. Okay, so we have negative, whoa, okay, let's try this again. So we had a negative 1x plus 3. There we go. And so we have our 3, 2, and our 1, 5. Since we have a 3 on the bottom, I think we're going to go ahead and use this top ones. So we're going to do x and x, because we have an x squared. That means we're going to have an x in both sets of parentheses. And this here tells us that it's going to be the same sign. So they're both going to be negative 3 and negative 2 over, oops, that's not supposed to be a positive 3. That's supposed to be a negative 3. Sorry, guys. Over our negative x minus 3. So once again, our x minus 3 cancels out, and so we're left with negative x minus 2. Remember, this and this are equivalent when we're talking about the negatives. Okay, here we are to simplify, so we're going to rewrite this. So we're going to have negative x plus 9, negative 1x minus 9. All right. And so negative 1x minus 9. Okay. And on the bottom, we're going to pull out our 3 because 3 goes into 3 and 3 goes into 27. So we're going to have 3x minus 9. Okay. Our x minus 9s cancel out, so we have negative 1/3. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you enjoyed today's lesson in algebra. Come back and join me for another lesson. Have a wonderful day. Thank you. Bye.